Welcome to Recycling Mama Crafts. Today we're going to be making soap in several different batches. I've already measured everything out and I've got my lye water ready and my oils ready. And I'm adding everything together now. Trying to get every last bit out. Ooh, I shouldn't have left that in there. Oh no. Be very careful. I would like it noted you should be wearing gloves when doing this. Gloves and apron and long sleeves. Okay. Now, I just used a soap calculator from the internet. I just Googled it. I've tried several different ones. This one is a new one that I'm trying, so hopefully the soap turns out pretty good. Just trying to get a little stirred up before we start. Right now I am using sunflower oil, olive oil, coconut oil, a little castor oil, and I'm also using cocoa butter in this recipe. And I'm making a big batch. Sorry, I know that's a little loud, but we've got to get the soap to make soap. This is going to take a little while, so I'm going to pause the video and bring you back up once I have this all mixed. Alright, now I've got that mixed up a bit and it's starting to come to trace a bit. I am adding in my oatmeal now. And I'm also adding in my cocoa butter. I like to add my cocoa butter in a little bit later. It makes it so nice and soft and yummy. So here we go again. I'm gotta bring some of this down a bit. Get those bubbles out. And you may notice the swirl in there, and I did put a little bit of honey in there to give it a little bit more creaminess to the bar. And I really like the honey in here. I've made this recipe a couple times before, and it turned out really, really, really nice. Okay. Alright, and now we have what's called a light trace. You can kind of see it leaves an impression when you smooth it out. You might not be able to see that too well, but it is at a light trace, and we don't want it to get too thick because we are going to be doing several different things with this. So I'm going to start by moving some over here to this bowl because I am going to be making oh shoot, yeah, that's why you should wear gloves and be very careful because stuff falls. I am going to be making a coffee soap as well. So here goes nothing. And I really need to get an assistant for this because right now I'm doing this all by myself. We are also going to be doing a soap with embeds, and I just love the way they turned out, and hopefully when it cuts it really pretty. And I made the embeds yesterday using watermelon. So that was fun. But watermelon makes your soap come to trace so fast, so be careful using it. Okay. Trying to get all that coffee in there. And coffee is really, really great for your skin. It's got a little bit of caffeine. And then you also have the exfoliation from the coffee grounds themselves. And I absolutely love the way Dunkin' Donuts coffee smells, so that is what I use. Okay. Go ahead and put this back in this big bowl. Move it around. It'll be okay. A little coffee grounds in there won't never hurt anybody. Alright, get that standing up. And I have several molds ready. I made up extra just in case because I'm still getting used to the molding process. Now the last time I did this, the coffee, I used a different kind of coffee and it turned it really dark brown. This, not so much. I'm going to pause you so I can get all of this goodness out of the bowl. And there we go. Now you can see that it's all in there, and I like to tap it a little bit to get the air bubbles out, and it also kind of evens out the top of the bar. And I will be covering this for a little while once I get everything poured, but not too long because the honey in there will make it get really, really hot. So I made that mistake the last time and it got too hot. Luckily, I caught it before it went above everything, exploded. Okay, now we're going to be working with this soap that I'm going to embed, which will be really, really cool. It's the first time I've ever done it. I'm actually going to get my soap mixture just a little bit thicker. So I'm going to pause you while I mix just a little bit more so it's a little bit thicker. Okay, I filled it about a third of the way up with the soap mixture. And now I'm going to be putting in the embeds and laying them in here. I'm going to kind of put them in sideways like this so that when you cut into them, that makes the circles. I think that'll look really fun. So hopefully this will turn out really cool. I'm kind of not really caring where I put them too much as long as they're all laying the right way. And it'll be a nice fun surprise for whoever is going to be using the soap when they're washing with it. It'll make it come out a little more, and that one just fell in there. I don't want to get my fingers in there. So, and like I said before, you really should be wearing gloves when doing this, so keep that in mind when you're doing yours. I'll throw a few more in here. I think I might even decorate the top. This should just be really cute soap. Now I'm going to pour a little bit more on the top, if I can manage. There we go. Ooh. Really need 2 hands for this, so it's not going as planned, but I can push those down a little bit more. Okay, that'll be good. All right, put that at the edge there so I can scrape it. Put a little bit more. And I think I'm just going to decorate the top of this with the rest of these little things that I made, little embeds that I made. And this is the watermelon soap. And I actually used real watermelon juice when I made these little embeds. And it was really easy to make. I used the same recipe I'm using here minus the honey. And I just added the watermelon juice. I froze it and added it in with the lye instead of using water. But it did come to saponification super duper fast, so it didn't pour out as easily as I expected it to. So it's got a lot of air bubbles. I tried to tap out what I could, but I knew it was going to do it. I just wasn't expecting that bad of or that fast of a reaction. But I know for next time, maybe a little bit less of the. And I don't like to waste, so I am going to sprinkle the top of the bars with the little chips that were left over. Waste not, want not. There's little chips that were left over in the bowl and something else got in them. Just sprinkle that all on the top. I plan on making a confetti soap eventually. I'm just not quite ready to start that yet. Okay. And now I'm going to do my next one, which I'm going to try using these molds that I got from the Dollar Tree without parchment paper. I know it can be a little scary, but I'm going to attempt it. And right now I'm going to pour this over. These are just loofah that I cut up. And I'm just going to do a thin layer over the loofah. Try to make some loofah. It's the first time I'm making this, so this will be an experimental bar. Ooh. Might as well go ahead and dump the rest of this. I'm going to pause you and scrape out the rest of this bowl. Okay, now it's going to take a lot of tapping because there's a lot of air in the loofah, and I don't know if you can see it, but as I'm tapping, little air bubbles popping out. Trying to get all of that soap down in that loofah real good. So when I cut up these bars, and they'll be bigger bars, it'll have a nice big chunk of loofah in it. Oh, that one's starting to float to the surface a bit, which is fine. Have it in the middle, kind of like a surprise loofah. I was hoping to have it at the bottom, but they're popping up, so try to sink it down in there. So that way you got extra exfoliation at the top of the bar. And the soap. Because I love using loofahs, it's just so hard to get them really good and soapy. And this way, they'll be really good and soapy for us already. I'm sorry about all the background noise. My kids and my husband are home and they're running in and out because it's summer break. Now, well, there we go. There's all the soaps. I'm just going to take, put them all together and put a piece of cardboard over the top to keep them from getting too cool too quickly. And then I will wrap them in some towels for a little while, and I'll come back and check on them to make sure they're not getting too hot, because they can get too hot when they're in this process. So I'm hoping that I don't overdo it. That's why I'm going to come back and check it a lot. And you want to make sure that your papers, if you have papers like this and you're going to line them up and put them together, that they're tucked underneath, because I've seen other bars of soap get ruined by having a little piece of parchment paper that's a little bit funky and it like puts a big hole in it. So there we have the coffee soap, just the regular oatmeal with a loofah, and then we have our watermelon surprise. So these soaps will be available for sale in 6 weeks on my store on Facebook. Go ahead and check it out. It's Recycling Mama Crafts. It's on Facebook. You can find me there. And I will have a link to that and everything else in the description. And I'll see you guys all later. Thanks for watching. And you guys have a great day.